behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Paul Mash TV. Paul Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a great interview as always coming up in just a moment. But before we begin, don't forget about the subscribe and bell buttons below you there. And when you do that, you'll always be notified of any new episodes coming your way. Leave a comment on the comment section as well if you'd like. We'd love to hear from you there. And look at the description part of this interview because we'll have contact info and we'll have it again at the closing credits at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. From New York City, New York today, we have DG. She's a very talented artist. I think you're going to agree. And we're going to get to that in a second, but first there's a quick word again from the Caden Gordon Show, so don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from New York City, New York, we have DG with us today. Thanks for joining us, DG.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We're glad to have you. How did it all begin for you as far as music goes? I mean, have you always wanted to be an artist since you were real little, or did it come much later? I mean, maybe there's something hidden that we don't know about, but anyway, go ahead and tell us your story. We'd love to hear it.
Oh boy. So it started when I was 5. My mom told me to lie and say that I was 6 when she enrolled me into Harlem School of the Arts. It's a music program, after school and weekend music program in Harlem, New York City. And I attended Harlem School of the Arts at least 4 days a week, 3 days after school, and then on Saturdays all days. And I was enrolled for dance, African dance, jazz, and ballet. I hated ballet. I'm very active, so I needed movement. And then the piano and the violin. I also took up music theory. And I absolutely loved the violin. That was my favorite. I got accepted to a prestigious high school in New York City. You have to audition to get in. It's called LaGuardia High School, but my behavior did not permit me to attend my at-home behavior. So I was sent away. And then I kind of just, I was so upset that I was sent away with my violin that I didn't play it. I didn't play it. So I'm an advanced, I consider myself an advanced beginner when it comes to playing an instrument. I do make my own beats, but I collaborate a lot with other beat makers. Since I'm still learning how to mix, I like to collaborate because they can mix it better for me. And I wanted to become an artist in my adolescent years, and I almost did. I was always like this close, but for some reason, the powers that be didn't want it to happen. Contracts were offered to my mom before I reached of age, and she declined them. And then when I did reach of age, I just kind of encountered what, women encounter in the industry, and I wasn't for that. So I remained behind the scenes for 8 years working for mainstream radio and TV. And then I received a budget cut. And there was a time where I had writer's block and I didn't write at all. But before I continue to talk, I'd like you to just ask the next question because I can go on and on.
Well, that is a great story. I'm glad you got to where you are, and I'm sure you have many years ahead of you. So I hope you have good luck with that.
Thank you.
Well, my next question is, what are your influences? I mean, what are some of the artists that influenced you to be the artist you are today?
Oh, 90s hip hop and R&B, definitely. Folk music. I just love the 70s. There are too many influences as individuals, artists to list, but my influences just vary. I listen to every genre. I don't like death metal. I had to do the fades and the segues for my first radio gig, and it was an overnight shift, and it was death metal, and I'm over it. There's nothing wrong with the music. It's just a personal thing, but I do listen to everything.
Okay, well, that's good, because that's what Paul Mash TV is about. We do all kinds of genres here on our show. And some of those influences you mentioned, like 90s hip hop and 70s, all those are great genres and decades or whatever. And I can kind of see your sound, in the song we're about to play, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I guess my next question is, how can we get a hold of you? I mean, I'm sure you're on all streaming platforms, but do you have an official website, or you're on all the social media platforms? Give everybody the idea of how we'll get a hold of you.
Yes, absolutely. My Instagram handles is DG_Kalivas, KALIVAS. Again, DG_Kalivas. And I just created a Twitter this morning. So follow me on Twitter. It's DG Kalivas. And you can find me on all of the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, with the same handles. You can remove the underscore for the streaming.
Oh. Okay, well, check out DJ Kalivas on all streaming platforms, and like she said, Instagram and X. It's called X now, and I'm sure you're on Facebook, things like that. I'm sure that she would love to talk to you, and maybe you can get her music too, like I said, from streaming. So I hope you'll do that sometime soon. And right now, speaking of your song, we got this. The video we're going to play is called "Our Lady of the Streets."
Woo, love it.
I'm sure there's quite a story there. It might be self-explanatory too, but go ahead and give us the story behind this song.
So I've never vocalized this publicly. The song is not written towards anyone but myself. So it's my flesh communicating with my soul and vice versa. I was going through a tough time. I had just lost my mother. I hadn't written. I had just started making beats that year after watching a Kanye West documentary. It inspired me so much, and I'm just like, this is my talent. This is my God-given gift. Mm-hmm. And it's actually not a good thing to use your gifts. It does the opposite. It does the opposite. But make a long story short, I wrote the song. I was communicating with myself back and forth. And then on one of the verses, I am speaking to all of those people who declined me as an artist when I was very close. I wasn't Black enough. I wasn't white enough. And it was just that was always the case. They would either wanted to market me as a white girl or market me as a Black girl, and then I just wasn't enough of anything. But here I am as an indie artist. I'm doing everything myself independently, and that's all. And I'm not gonna stop until I succeed.
Yeah, it's a great song too, and I know
Thank you.
You guys are gonna love it too. And we'll get to that in a second. But DG, thank you so much for being on the show today. We'd love to have you back sometime if you have anything to plug. So let me know, and maybe we'll have you back on again.
Thank you, Paul. And I made this beat you're about to hear as well.
Oh, okay. Let's get right started. Our Lady in the Streets by DJ begins right.
Once upon a time, I dreamed about a fairy tale romance. Even though she was your mother, will I ever love you like she did? You got me undercover. When we're undercovers in my bed, they think that I'm a sucker, but this was all part of my plan. Our Lady of the Streets, 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 Our Lady of the Streets. We could be a couple, or I could keep pretending we're just friends. I remember that Friday night, take you down a memory lane. Said you love me that day, but it's like you don't know me today. It shows you wanna still keep me on the low. Disgrace, Superfly, Our Lady of the Streets, Our Lady of the Streets, Our Lady of the Streets. Superfly, you can't match my high. Superfly, you can't match my high. High, but I can't remember the last time I cried. Superfly, you can't match my high. Superfly, you can't match my high. High, bye, I can't remember. I think it was December or September, whenever. Why you so clever? sleep on the black ice. Our lady of the streets, our lady of the streets. Our sure to put on a good fight. Grabbed a knife and stared me in the back. Left me on the ground, but I never stayed down. Now I'm coming back to collect my crown. Round 2 is when you get knocked out. Wrong 2 is when you're gonna have to cage this beast in me. Superfly, you can't match my high. Superfly, you can't match my high. I can't remember. Matter of fact, now I do. It was December 22/0. When my mama died, there's a reason why God kept me alive. And this is why. Superfly, you can't match my high. Superfly, you can't match my high. Fly, high like a kite. Fly, high like a kite.
Married to the streets, she my main piece. Got a house, a couple kids, and some gold teeth. Ain't fucking with the Rose G. Interior seats so bloody they gon' make her catch a nosebleed. 100 years of work riding cross state. Bill'll be higher than the divorce rate. Lady of the streets, wavy in the sheets. Very few words, let the paper speak. Staying up all night, serving that Bobby. You can usually find me in your lobby. Probably on my way to Punta Cana, DR. Treat me right and get a citizen card. Them doors start dropping soon as Chips was involved. I'm a God-fearing Christian, but I love my D.O.
Our lady of the streets.